I've caught the bus many times, and perhaps like for you, for me, public transport comes with a range of emotions. Boredom, frustration, discomfort, joy, but always a sense of relief when I finally see the bus arriving. But there's one emotion I've never felt while waiting for a bus, and that's fear. I've never been scared while using public transport. But here's the thing, I'm actually in the minority. I used to work with a team that designed public transport services. I had the technical know-how to design efficient public transport systems, but I lacked something crucial, and that was the lived experience of people who do feel fear and vulnerability while using public transport. My designs could never be the best they could be for a safe and accessible city. And it's this lack of understanding that affects the way we design our cities and public services. And so the people who are responsible for making the decisions are doing things which just don't work for some communities. And I think that needs to change. In 2021, I founded an AI startup with a very simple mission. No voice left behind. We wanted to help organizations move away from trying to find out about people using traditional survey tools. You know, those forms with fixed questions and tick boxes. We envisioned something more dynamic, more like a face-to-face interview. And so we developed a product using conversational AI, which was a chatbot that interviewed people. But it let people steer the direction of the conversation to where they wanted it to go. It let them share their stories and express what truly mattered to them, not just tick boxes. There was also a cultural element. Surveys are quite transactional. So a direct question expects a direct response. And for many face-to-face cultures, that's just not appropriate. It's not respectful. And so we developed the world's first indigenous conversational AI. So this was AI that reflected not just the language, but also the values and the cultural context of indigenous communities. And the feedback we got from these communities highlighted the immense value that they saw in our unique, culturally sensitive approach and how it could break down many long-held barriers. And this is particularly important in a post-COVID world because so much consultation about our cities and services is now done online. Huge decisions impacting our communities are being made based on pie charts and bar graphs of the few people that can even be bothered filling out the survey. Do you know what the record-breaking response rate is for a region-wide survey in Auckland? 1.6%. So many perspectives are unheard, and so many voices are being left behind. But despite this context, and despite strong support for our innovation, despite the fact we developed technology that delivered as promised, we couldn't reach our targets. Maybe we were too early, maybe we were too soon, maybe people weren't ready to move away from traditional survey tools. But I'll be honest, our lack of success was really hard for me. I'd poured my heart into that mission, and it wasn't just the business setback. It shook my belief that we would ever truly hear those unheard stories. Failure does have a way of teaching you things. And so it opened my eyes to a new opportunity, one that I think will change the way we understand each other forever. Imagine if AI could simulate those surveys, those interviews. If we could say to AI, we want you to be a certain demographic and answer the questions based on their perspective. So this is what I started to explore. Now you might wonder, how can AI understand a person's unique experience? and it can't, not fully. But the large language models that we use are trained on massive amounts of material and many perspectives. And AI doesn't just regurgitate information, it synthesizes perspectives. So while AI might not be able to understand a person's unique experience, it can synthesize thousands of perspectives, giving us a powerful tool to represent many voices from a range of communities. So I tested to see whether AI could represent a community. Could it share what it's like to be part of that community? And it could. So this got me thinking, what if we could use AI to gain insights into the lives of people whose experiences we don't share or understand? Could we use those insights to improve the way we make decisions about our public services? Yes, we can. Let me show you how. I chose a seemingly intractable problem in our healthcare system. People not turning up to medical appointments. Missed appointments cost the system millions of dollars a year. Now, it's easy from our perspective to assume why that might be the case. Maybe people are lazy. Maybe people don't care. Maybe they're selfish. But I wanted to understand what was really going on. So I asked AI for stories about people who struggle to make it to medical appointments. The first story was a very familiar one. I said, pretend you're someone like me. Tell me a story about me going to do a medical appointment. And this is what it gave me. My son has had a nagging cough and it suddenly got much worse. I logged into the clinic's online system and found a convenient appointment for the next day. It was all confirmed within minutes. In the morning, after I dropped my other kids off at school, we drove to the clinic in my car. We arrived 10 minutes early, enough time for a coffee. We met with the doctor, got a prescription, and even picked up the medicine on the way home. I have a busy life, but it wasn't disrupted at all. So based on this story it gave me, it's hard to believe our medical system is in crisis. In fact, sounds like it's working pretty well, highly productive. So I asked AI for more stories, this time from someone very different to me. I said, pretend you're an Afghan refugee living in New Zealand. Tell me about them getting to a medical appointment. And this is the first story it gave me. A young Afghan woman struggled with language barriers. She didn't speak fluently, and the medical form was full of terms she just didn't understand. She tried calling the clinic, but after a few minutes, the receptionist just seemed frustrated. Her husband used to help with translations, but now he was working very long hours. On the day of the appointment, she felt overwhelmed. How was she going to navigate the bus system? What if the doctor couldn't understand her describing her son's symptoms? She missed the bus, confused by the signs and schedules. And by the time she worked it out, it was too late. So defeated, she cancelled the appointment and her son's cough lingered. It gave me other stories as well, including this. She felt isolated without the support network she'd had all of her life. Without friends and family nearby, it was almost impossible to find someone to look after her kids when she went to the hospital. The few people she did know were also refugees, struggling to balance their own lives. Asking for help seemed like a burden on them, so she didn't ask. Another story said, back home, as a woman, it was hard to see a doctor. The clinics were overcrowded, the medical care was inadequate, and any medical decisions required her husband's permission. Medical care in her new country was very different, but she still carried the trauma of her past experiences. So all of the stories I heard about a healthcare system assumed the same healthcare system, but gave very different experiences. So how well we think our healthcare system is working depends on whose story we're listening to. I think to improve our healthcare system, we need to listen to and understand many stories like this. So imagine this. We ask AI to walk in the shoes of communities we don't understand. We ask AI to give us stories that would otherwise be unheard. Stories that can help us reshape the way we build our cities, design our services, and get along with each other. Imagine if AI could help teachers better understand the hidden challenges of their students, or help employers connect better with workers from completely different backgrounds. Understanding each other isn't just about being kind or tolerant. It actually takes deliberate effort. But I think with the help of AI, that effort becomes manageable, because AI can give us the stories we don't hear, the voices we don't understand, and the perspectives we overlook. Anyone can access free and powerful AI tools to gain these insights. So think about the possibilities. Where could AI help you foster better understanding? In your school? In your workplace? In your choir? Even in your personal relationships? What's one connection you could improve today with the help of AI? Because here's the reality. As society becomes more diverse, we will share fewer common lived experiences. And that means we will understand each other less and less. But I think with the help of AI, we can change that. Because AI is not just about data or technology. It can be about helping us understand each other in the ways we never thought possible. So let's not fear AI. Let's use it to make our cities and communities better, more connected, and more human. Thank you.